Well, ladies and gentlemen, you already know how this goes. They love to change the meaning of words because when they change the meaning of words, it allows them to push the narrative even further and say, well, hey, look, this is actually what this word means now. So that means that all my mental illnesses are validated because the new meaning of the word is what it is. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have an article here from Bounding Into Comics with a headline that reads, X-Men the Animated Series creators defend decision to make MORPH non-binary in X-Men 97 and says that the word non-binary is the same as the word shapeshifter.
I don't think it means what you think it means.
Now, again, ladies and gentlemen, I tried to make this argument before when we were talking about MORPH in X-Men 97. I simply said, listen, if you want to say they're the same thing, they're not, by the way, but if you want to say they're the same thing, okay, no problem. So can you then showcase to me a non-binary person who is able to actually successfully shapeshift in the manner of which MORPH is able to shapeshift? If you can show me that, then I'll just shut up. I'll be quiet. If you can show me an actual shapeshifting non-binary person, but we know that you can't because they are two different words. They have two different meanings, and you can try to change them all you want, but ultimately, we know what you're trying to do with the word definition. So let's get into this article, guys, from Bounding Into Comics. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. So it says, according to the creators of both X-Men the Animated Series and the character himself, the decision to portray team member MORPH as non-binary individual in the upcoming X-Men 97 sequel series is not the radical change critics claim it is, but rather a logical conclusion based on the character's shape-shifting powers. It says this reads of the MORPH's character was offered by X-Men the Animated Series creator Eric Lewald, his wife and writer Julia Lewald, and director Larry Houston, all three of whom returned to provide their creative input to the reboot. During a recent interview given to Variety in promotion of X-Men 97's rapidly approaching release date, pressed for their thoughts on the backlash to the changing of MORPH's character, in particular the fact that many critics felt that the move was done for nothing more than social media browning points, the trio unanimously pushed back on the ground that the mutant's new gender identity was already inherent in his power set. Oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen, 100%. The character was always non-binary. We just didn't know it in the 90s. That's what they want. Oh my God, bro. That's what they want you to believe. Oh yeah, no, it was totally non-binary the whole time. We knew that. We just didn't say anything. That's all. We just didn't say anything. But now that obviously it's a little more known, now we're saying something. But this was always the intention. It was always a non-binary character, ladies and gentlemen. It wasn't a shapeshifter, which totally has a different meaning. No. You're crazy if you think it's not always been the case. They love to gaslight you. They love to lie to people's faces and tell you these things when we all know the real reason why they did it, ladies and gentlemen. There is only one reason and one reason only, and that is the good old fake diversity, equity, and inclusion. The fake old representation that they love to talk about. Shout out to Nerdrotic, but that's the truth. They love to talk about it because it is their political ideology. Politics run everything for them. We know this to be the case. Then it says, for me, the word non-binary is the same as the word shapeshifter, argued Houston. Every character that can change from one gender to another or from human to animal, that's just another word for shapeshifter for me. So you have no idea what non-binary is then. You have no idea what a shapeshifter is then. You don't have a basic understanding of the English language to know that they are two different things. The fact that you are trying to attribute shapeshifting to non-binary people, I need you to please find me a non-binary person that can successfully shapeshift. If you can do that, I not only would I be impressed, but I will also admit I'm wrong. But I know I'm not wrong because there isn't a damn human that can shapeshift. That is just not the case. They are two different words with two different meanings, and you're trying to make it seem as if they are not two different meanings because you're being disingenuous for the reason why you did it in the first place. It says, drawing attention to the fact that he disguises himself as various female X-Men during his turncoat return in the two-part episode Till Death Do Us Part, Eric Lewald asserted he attacks Wolverine, his closest friend, in the most dramatic way by turning into Jean Grey and putting his hand on Wolverine's neck and leaning in for a kiss. That's as non-binary as you can get. Oh, wow. Oh, my God, man. What the fuck? Okay, so first off, no, it's not. Okay, no, it's not. Because non-binary means literally they, them, right? So they try to pass it off as they don't actually attribute themselves to either gender, right? So they don't attribute themselves to male and they don't attribute themselves to female. They're somewhere in between. That's the entire existence for non-binary, number one. Number two, obviously we know it's bullshit, but they are not shapeshifters. They cannot shapeshift from one sex to the other. It is impossible. It is a literal impossibility. It is not the same word. Shapeshifting is used to describe something totally different. Shapeshifting is used to describe what MORPH actually was. But since now you have the ability to virtue signal by calling him non-binary, you're doing so. If I was a non-binary person, I'd be fucking offended, to be honest with you. I'd be like, so you're calling me a shapeshifter, so I'm just a fucking anamorph now. I could just shapeshift into anything. That's not even close to being the same thing. It says it's MORPH turning into a woman and coming onto Wolverine to freak him out. Continued the original series creator of his hilariously so progressive it's regressive argument. It was all there in MORPH's character. Now it's become such a social thing that I think people will be more sensitive to how it's used. That's the only difference. We didn't see a problem reading him and we didn't feel he was any different. So again, they're trying to gaslight you into believing or making you believe that they thought that he was non-binary since inception, that they thought of him as a non-binary character since inception. No, that's not the case. You are using modern day lingo, and changing the title of the character and what he's able to do. He is a shapeshifter. He is not a non-binary person. That being a shapeshifter does not automatically make you a non-binary person. That's not a thing. That's not a thing. Just like being non-binary doesn't automatically make you a shapeshifter because you cannot shapeshift if you are non-binary. The whole thing is bullshit. It's just modern day beautiful rhetoric that they're trying to utilize to change definitions and push their ideology in a TV show that we know they want to push. They want to do this. Let's not pretend like they don't want to do this. They need to do this. They have to do it in everything. They're almost like the damn Illuminati. You got to see messaging in everything. It's that kind of a thing, right? It's that kind of a cult. That's what we're dealing with here. It says, voicing her take on the situation with a slightly more frustrated bent than her colleagues, Julia Lawald asserted, "Did we teach you people nothing? Were you not watching? Did we not figure out how to be nice to each other and how to get along? It's very odd to feel like we were still dealing with the same issues that we were dealing with 30 years ago." She added, "It's painful." Brusky, there was no non-binary people 30 years ago. I don't know where you've been, Julia. Maybe you've been living in progressive mansions or something like that, but no, there hasn't been non-binary up until the last few years. This is a modern progressive thing. It is not from 30 years ago. As previously reported, MORPH's new non-binary identity in X-Men 97 was first confirmed by the series' now former showrunner and creator Biel DeMaio during a production interview given to Empire Magazine for their April 2024 issue. So again, ladies and gentlemen, we already know about this. There's nothing more to talk about in terms of the non-binary thing. I just find it hilarious that they're trying to change the definition of shapeshifting in order to justify the reason for making a character non-binary when we all know they did it for political reasons, and that's it. It's slacktivism, ladies and gentlemen. It is the laziest form of activism that these losers can do by putting it into TV shows that nobody wants it in. I guarantee you this TV show is going to mega flop. Nobody who was interested in it before is probably going to be interested in it now. And all you're going to have is maybe one or two activists that are going to watch this TV show because it has the word non-binary in it so they could see themselves in a obviously male character. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.
You sound like a white male trying to reestablish the patriarchy.